Legend of Korra Season 4, Episode 7 Reunion. Now, before I get to the actual review for this episode, I have to complain again about Nickelodeon's just their online service for Legend of Korra is really crappy. Like, I think in my past two reviews, I mentioned how it just sucks watching it on Nick because if you miss something, you can't go back because it'll either jump forward to the end of the episode or it'll jump back like two commercial breaks and you'll be like near the beginning or something. And today when I went on, and this was probably around like 11:50 something, it was almost 12 o'clock or like at 12 something like that. I went on, it said they had the episode, and then when you go to the video, it said it's unavailable. So it's just like their service for Legend of Korra is just really really crappy, and like their video player in general sucks. But today was kind of just their service for the show, and the show itself was crappy. Like I don't know what happened. So I mean, there could have been a ton of issues, but it's like that just mixed with the fact that they have a really crappy video player just made it worse. It seems like every single week I just have something to complain about when I'm trying to watch Legend of Korra, unless I can find it online, which is exactly what I did. I found it on another site, and I don't know if you guys were able to see it on Nick's site or you just went somewhere else because I don't know when they fixed it. But that was just something I had to bring up. It's like it wasn't even there, and I think that's happened before where you couldn't. I don't think it was that the video was unavailable, but you couldn't get to the video even though they had like the picture. There was no actual link on the picture one time, and that was, I think it was like the second or third episode this season, and the episode was up there, but you had to like go into Legend of Korra and you had to find it in a really weird way. You had to like, I think I had to Google the episode on Nickelodeon's website to actually get to that specific page because they didn't have an actual link to it on their own website. So that was, I just had to kind of complain about that again because I just hate their service. It sucks. And then even if you're watching it, you better pay 100% attention because you'll never be able to go back and see anything unless you want to watch like 5 extra minutes before that one to like that little 5 second clip that you missed. But to get to the actual episode instead of ranting on Nick again, I loved it. I thought it was a really good one. We got to see three-fourths of Team Avatar working together. Bolin and Varrick are still off doing their thing, and they're still really funny together. I think my favorite part was, of course, when Bolin got on Varrick's back, and they just did the animation so slow, and he took one full step, and then they got captured. So I love that. I thought it was really funny, and Varrick talking about how Julie walked, I think he said like 15 miles in a day, and that was after she sprained her ankle and stuff. So them together is always really funny. Varrick was actually really cool in this episode. He made an EMP, which I loved. It was like everyone was kind of losing this battle. They were getting overrun by the mechs. And he's like, crap, I got to do something to help these people out so we can get out of here. And he did. He made an EMP, and it was really cool to see him use his genius skills for good because, we haven't actually seen that in a while. So it was actually really cool. Like, we got to see him make an EMP, took out all the machines, and then Bolin helped the last couple of resistance people, and they all escaped. So that was really cool. I can't wait to see where they actually go. They'll probably just have them drop them off at like Republic City to make it simple. But I'd love it if they kind of went on like their own little adventure. But they probably won't do that because it's like the final season. They kind of have to keep things nice and tidy. But it would be cool if they kind of went and they basically were helping free some of the United locations. So that would be really cool if they did that. I don't know if they really will though, but it was nice. And the guy that they had played by Steve Bloom looked just like Juan. Like I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, he looks like somebody I've seen before. I'm like, is it Mako with crazy hair or something like that? And I realized at the end that character model looks exactly like Juan, or like very very similar to Juan. And it was like that's who it was. Like it took me forever to get it, but by the end of that episode, I'm like, I just snapped my fingers like Juan. He looks like Juan. Because it just finally stood out to me. But that whole episode, like as soon as I saw him, I'm like, he looks like somebody. And at first I thought it was Mako just because he had like the pointy hair and stuff, and I'm like a little bit just because of the hair. But it's Juan, and that's, I don't know if you guys saw that, and maybe they did that on purpose for whatever reason. I don't know, because Juan is like one of the best things that ever happened in Avatar, so maybe that's why. But I like them. I like the fighters. We didn't, of course, know real story on them. They're just people that were unfortunately imprisoned because they didn't want to listen to Kuvira, and so she just sent them away to the camps, the labor camps. So I'm excited to see how they sort of balance that out, because of course they had to meet the perfect two characters, because Bolin and Varrick were the ones working with Kuvira, and they were kind of blind to the stuff that was going on until the last episode. So it's really cool that they're the ones that run into the resistance people, or like the people that are trying to get away. So it makes perfect sense, and like I said, it would be cool if they did go on like a little adventure, maybe for like 1 or 2 episodes, where they do help these people kind of free other people inside of some of the other camps. But I thought it was really cool. I love the fight scene. It was cool to see Bolin do a lot of lava bending. He's gotten really good at it. I think a really cool part, even though it wasn't even during a fight, was when Bolin and Varrick were actually captured by the people because they weren't sure that they could be trusted. And so they look at each other, and Varrick just jumps, and Bolin just like creates a crater and then does like a nice little sweep kick and just brings up a bunch of lava. And it just looked really cool. It was nice and fluid. They both understood it was like, all right, I got to jump. He's going to spread these people out and then make a nice barrier around us. And it was cool. It was like maybe 5 seconds long, but it just looked really cool. It was nice and fluid, and it was just a really cool scene. And then the whole fight scene, I thought, of course, was really well done. But I enjoyed that story. I'm excited to see if they're gonna go like straight to Republic City or what they're gonna do in between, stuff like that. But it was a good side story, and then the main story I definitely enjoyed too, with the rest of Team Avatar. We got to see them all come back together after 3 years, and it was kind of funny how they referenced it towards the end, like they kind of need an adjustment period because it's been so long for them since they hung out. So there's some tension, like Korra talking to Asami but not writing Mako or Bolin. And as soon as Asami mentioned, I'm like, it's about to happen. But Mako's a little upset about it, and then it doesn't help when Prince Wu is there. Like that couldn't possibly help anyone calm down. So that kind of just added on to it. But it was cool to see them together. They worked together in the fights. Oddly enough, they didn't really fight too much together as a team. Like I think Bolin and Varrick fought more than everyone else did. So it was kind of funny to see that. Like we got to see Asami do like a really cool move, which was sweet. That's always really cool. One thing I really love though is we got to see Korra metal bend like crazy in this episode, more than she ever has. So I love that. She was like deflecting the stuff from the one guy. She closed the door, which was really simple. She closed the door, but she like ripped the roof open, and like when she sent Prince Wu up, he was like, I'm not going up there, and she like shot him up there, and she made that face. But it was really cool. And then saving everyone at the end when she made like the giant air bubble, all that stuff was really sweet. And like the little bits and pieces of action we got to see with her were really cool. And I enjoyed that. They got together, and by the end they got Prince Wu to a safe house. So I like the way they wrote that, because now that Prince Wu is going to be staying with Mako's family, he's kind of out of the picture for a little bit of time. So it's not like every time we see Mako, we're going to see him having to deal with protecting Prince Wu, who of course cannot do anything to protect himself. So I love the way they wrote that. Like, you're in too much danger, and we need to put you somewhere safe. So he's going to be with their family. And Mako's grandmother, who just like, I loved her in this one. That was so funny when she saw him, and it was like everyone got blurred out, and he was just like all shiny and stuff. And then he kissed her hand, and she just fainted. I thought that was a really great scene. That was so funny to me. But it's cool that he's kind of going to be out of the picture. I'm sure we're going to see him here and there, and Mako's going to like check in on him, because that's still technically his job. So he's going to see how he's doing. But he'll be out of the picture. It won't be here's Mako and Prince Wu. It's just going to be here's Mako, and sometimes he'll check on Prince Wu. So that was really cool. Like I said, them getting to see Korra metal bend a lot in this episode was probably one of my favorite parts, for sure. It definitely was. And when she found Prince Wu when he was like in the laundry, that was a great scene too. Like Prince Wu just like spinning like, I'm in laundry. I thought that was a really funny scene. And then right after that, from like the random villain, I think he was the first guy they captured, the one who actually kidnapped Prince Wu. When he hit Korra with the earthbending, and he just like did like that and just shot her up to the roof, that looked like a really hard hit. Like I don't say that too often for Korra, because that's kind of what they do. It's like people firebend and waterbend and earthbend and metal bend too. And it was crazy. Like sometimes you can just tell a hit was unexpected, and I don't think she was prepared for that. Like he just shot her up to the roof, and she just hit the ceiling and fell. It's like, I don't know if that was like a normal hit. Like we've seen her take hits where she gets hit with, rocks and stuff, but she at least blocks it. Like, she can break it even if she takes a bit of damage. She punched it and broke it, or she did like that and it broke on her and she was helping to block it herself. But that was just like, boom, she just hit the ceiling. Excuse me. And it was kind of a crazy scene to me. Like, it was like a second long. She just went up and went down, but that was such a hard hit. It was like, I don't know if she was really prepared for that. So I actually enjoyed that, just because it just came out of nowhere. Like, he was really prepared and he just knocked it right up in the air. And then the chase scene was actually pretty cool. We got to see Korra take what she learned from Toph, and she used her spirit connection, and she kind of went through the ground and she found Prince Wu. So that was really cool. And then she used it again when they were at the train station to find out which train he was on specifically. So that was really cool. We got to see that. And that, of course, ties into the very last scene in this episode, where Kuvira and a ton of people from her army, she had like a bunch of the airships, a bunch of the mechs, they're at the swamp, and they're trying to take the giant tree. Like, that's where they are. They're at the giant tree that is the entire swamp. So I don't know how that's gonna go down. Like, the first thing I thought was they're in a ton of trouble, because I feel like Toph's just gonna come in there by herself and she'll just like do like some crazy like Matrix type stuff and just like separate every mech at one time, and they'll just be done for. But they're gonna get this, and I know they aren't gonna be completely stopped, because as amazing as Toph is, she is still one person against I don't know how many people in all these giant airships. So they're gonna get some of these routes that they're going after, and they're gonna create some weapons that we're gonna get to see later in the season. But I think one of the most obvious things is that Toph is gonna not be happy about this, and hopefully they don't skip over that in the next episode, and we're gonna get to see her at least take down somebody, because she's gonna be really pissed, and she's always pissed. So it doesn't help to elevate that. But I love the episode. I'm really excited for what Toph's gonna do. That's what I'm most excited for. As much as I love getting Team Avatar back and having them reunite with Bolin and Varrick, and that should be pretty good too, because they kind of talked about that when Korra first came back to Republic City, and no one knows where Bolin is. So when he comes back and he tells everyone like, hey, I know things were kind of messed up, I'm gonna like some of those scenes, because I think they're gonna have the emotional stuff with Opal, of course, and that's kind of one of the things I'm excited for. I feel like Bolin kind of deserves that for some reason, because he kind of has it the worst. I don't really know who has it worse. The relationships are always kind of crappy in the show. Like, either it's just dumb because everyone's like a teenager and stupid, or your girlfriend's head got blown up. Like, who knows? So relationship stuff doesn't tend to work out in this show. So I kind of like what Bolin has with Opal. So hopefully when he comes back and says like, we kind of took off and almost died because he was trying to blow us up, and that'll be Varrick. So I'm excited for that to happen when he comes back and tells everyone like, we didn't know, we were just dumb. And so I'm actually really excited for that. But as far as the Toph stuff, I think that's the thing I'm most excited for, because I want to see her go crazy and just beat a bunch of people up. And also, the swamp itself is alive, so I feel like we're gonna have to get some of that. I don't think they've never done a story where the swamp was actually being attacked itself, so the swamp's gonna have to fight back as well. So I'm excited for that. But comment below, let me know what you guys thought about this episode, your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and with this final scene being what it is, what do you guys think Toph is going to do, or what do you think is going to happen in general in the next episode? Comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.